What is going on, guys? So as you can tell by the title of the video, we are doing a garage overview, everything that's in the garage, full tour of all the cars. First, we have my favorite, the 2JZ Camaro. This is a base model 1999 V6 Camaro that we had an LS in, then switched to the 2J combo, induction performance built motor. They did all the wiring, Pro EFI on it, precision 86mm turbo, beefy 9-inch, has a full cage in it, full purpose built drag car. As soon as the weather, gets a little nicer, we'll be back out racing this thing a bunch. But the weather is so heinous for racing, so just been kind of laying low on this car until racing season really starts. And I guess we'll go to it's kind of counter, these two cars kind of go together a lot in my mind because they're around the same year-ish. I mean, not really. This just seems like it'd be the right tow rig for this. This is my 2008 Chevy Tahoe 5.3 four-wheel drive. This was my daily driver for 2 or 3 years. Super clapped out, almost 300,000 miles on it, but it is a workhorse. I would trust this thing to drive anywhere at any time. Great car. Cannot get rid of it. I should get rid of it, but I can't get myself to. It's just too great of a car. These were new couple years ago. They were brand new. This one's still good, but yeah, just simple. There's really nothing done to it. It's basically bone stock besides some wheels and tires. The wheels were already on it when I got the car, but yeah, this car is great the way it is. Ice cold AC. Then let's get to the 240SX Coupe. So this is a really fun car. I think this is probably the most enjoyable street car, the most fun all-around car, because it only makes 475 horsepower and it's got all the steering and handling in the world for sliding and screwing around like this. It's kind of like the Hooning car, it's a really fun car to drive. Stick shift T56 Magnum, LS6 engine, Holley EFI. It's a really well put together car in my opinion, and super fun to drive. So I haven't drifted it really at all because I don't know, I just haven't. It's not really I don't wake up in the morning thinking I want to go drift. So this car kind of has just been sitting. It needs the rest of its glass put in. There's a back order on windshield, so kind of just waiting. I'll probably need to put something there, but caged, just has a dash, switch panel up there, and just simple. I built and wired this whole car, did everything on it for the most part, besides a couple things that I already had when I got it. But this car is ready to go drifting at any time, as I just have to get in it and go. That's really it. Chip, what is there to say about Chip? Great car. Really excited to start building this thing. There's so many parts that are already here. There's so many parts that are on their way that this build is gonna go from 0 to 100 real quick. All of a sudden you guys are gonna be like, wow, when did this thing become a full-blown race car? That's gonna be Chip. Right now it's just a V6 car. It's got a 7.5-inch rear end. I have everything coming for it or already have, so it's gonna be a good car. We'll go through the interior. It does have nitrous at the moment. I might put a bigger shot on it. I have some jets that just came in for it, so probably do that. But other than that, it's just a good machine. Good old Chip. Subaru. The Subaru Outback. 1998 Outback. You guys saw, I blew up the motor in it. So went to the junkyard, grabbed a new motor, put it in there, put a lift on it, put some tires on it, and it's good to go. It's running pretty well right now. I just haven't driven it much, but it's running great. Haven't really figured out what I want to do with it. I probably do a gambler with it if my schedule kind of lines up with one of those gamblers, if nothing else is kind of in the way. But I'd like to do one of those gambler rallies. So that's on my list of wants, but this car is actually really nice. Like, even the interior is super nice and well kept. All the seats and everything, like, really nice car. So this would be a fun gambler car. Cold AC, stick shift. So this is a cool car. I like this. I like the look of it. I have a snorkel for it. I just haven't gotten to put it on yet. Haven't wanted to dive into that just yet. Oh, let's go back to here. Here we have a 2019 Honda Talon. This was a side-by-side blog set up me getting this, and it has just been unreal. It's super great machine. It runs really well, besides one little issue. I have the valve cover oil leak is still an issue, so I have to get a new valve cover gasket. I tried RTV, but RTV didn't do it. But it's got a bunch of stuff. It's got a Brick City Fab cage, it's got snorkel, it's got like paddle shifters, wheels, tires, bunch of stuff. Got a winch on there, speaker, all the good stuff that you want on a side-by-side. Haven't used it yet this season. It's been a crazy year. Last year I used it a bunch, and hopefully I can get out on it a couple more times. But it's Florida, we can use these all year round, so not really too worried about it. One of my favorite cars. This is probably one of the best street cars, best looking, and just overall, like, I don't know, in my opinion, it was always like a showstopper. I think that's just me when I wanted these growing, like when I first saw these and when I always saw these, and it's just one of those cars that even when I see them now, I'm like, dang, those are good cars. This is my 2012 CTS-V wagon. It is a bolt-on car. It doesn't even have exhaust, bone stock exhaust. It just has a pulley, tune, 85 injectors. So it's really, really simple. I lowered it on BC coilovers and I basically slammed it. That was the goal. I was like, let me just go as low as I can. But other than that, this car has just been so good. I don't drive it as much as I wish I did. Just, you know, rainy season. It is it's such a good car, and I really don't see myself getting rid of it, even though I always think about it, because this car, you know, it's an expensive car that could go into some of the other builds, but I just can't get myself to get rid of this because I think it's going to be a really sought after car in a few years. Even though they are already going up in value. It is a automatic, which I wanted when I was looking, because I had the stick shift V1 and I wanted the automatic V2, and I am still happy with it being auto. I think the auto in this car is better and more enjoyable than the stick shift, just because it's such a big, bulky car. Stick shift to me feels a little like weird in such a big vehicle. I don't know, that's just me. I think stick shift is more better. I think stick shift is more fun in like a light, nimble car like the 240. I think it's just better suited for that. Here, this is not my car. My name is not on the title, but this is Bronte's Trailblazer RS. She just got it from Stingray Chevrolet. She's been loving it. This is a little 3-cylinder front-wheel drive car, but we use this car probably more than anything. She's always driving now because this car is just way better than anything I have for, you know, just like getting around town and city driving and whatnot, because normally it's either this or my truck. She never wants to drive the Tahoe for some reason, but it's a good car. She has really enjoyed it. This big guy all the way back here. So this is my 2017 2500 Denali Duramax. This is like the perfect tow rig in my opinion. It's just like, it's so comfortable. It's so like, it pulls so well, especially when I'm just pulling the aluminum open trailer and just going like, you know, it's just perfect for what I do. Someday I will upgrade this to a dually and a long bed so I can pull like a gooseneck or something, because that's kind of me and Bronte's end goal, is to have like a gooseneck trailer with like some living quarters maybe, but it's on the long-term list. This car is getting up there. It's almost at 100,000 miles. So for a 2017 Duramax, that's pretty good. That's definitely been well used, but I use this thing basically every single day. Tow with this thing probably twice a week, and it's been so good for the time I've had it. Well, that's the driveway. That's all the running cars. All these cars drove to this spot under their own power. So that's 9 cars drove under their own power. Not bad. I'm happy with that. That's pretty solid. Now we have the not running cars. This obviously does not run because it's a trailer. It just has a toolbox that I put on. I want to add a winch at some point. Haven't gotten around to that yet. And really just use it. Here on the side of the building. So this is a 1989 Supra, I want to say, 7M. It's kind of like the most undesirable motor of the Supras. You could have gotten these with a 1J, but those are pretty rare. The 7Ms are pretty terrible. So if you guys don't know anything about 7Ms, they basically blow up as soon as you look at them wrong. There's actually some people that say Toyota did that on purpose so that they were less reliable for the US market, because they built Toyotas too good that they didn't want to like overshadow the US cars. I don't know. I don't get that. It doesn't make much sense to me, but eventually I'll build this. I have some cool plans for it. I actually measured the engine bay and I think a Coyote would fit in there. So that's kind of something I think about often. But I really do like this car. It's super nice. It's got a nice interior. I like the blue. It's very like 80s, 90s automatic car. So it's a nice car. It's kind of unfortunate that it's been sitting out here, but nothing a good wash can't fix. The paint is like, 30 years old at this point anyways, so not that big of a deal. Then you guys know my child, the OG of the channel. Well, not of this channel, the OG of me and my racing and all that. The V1. The lights aren't on in here, but this is where the V1 lives. So flat tires, I don't really care much about that, because when this thing comes back, I doubt it would be running these same tires anyways, just because of the amount of time it was there. Tried to sell these wheels and tires, nobody bought them. So tough break. If you guys do want these wheels, hit me up. They're V1 fitment 17s and skinnies in the front. But it's a good car. It's definitely, showing its age, but keep it under this thing to kind of keep it nice. Yeah, clean still. This thing was always fun to drive. This was my daily for like 2 years, maybe even longer, when I was in school, and I loved driving this thing every day. It was bone stock, but it was so much fun. Changed the exhaust a couple times. That was basically all I could afford back then. But this car is really good, and eventually it'll come back. But the only reason eventually it'll come back, but I'm so reluctant to work on this because I don't want to just like, put it back together in like a stock-ish form. I want to live out my wildest dreams for this car, the stuff that I always dreamt of years ago, and I'd rather just leave it sitting here like this, not doing anything until I have everything in line to do it the right way and do it the way that it should be done and the way that I feel it deserves. Gave me a lot, and I want to kind of get back behind the wheel of it, but in a different form in a way. So it'll get there eventually, but it's probably years out. Let's just be fully honest, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me sitting here. I'm not too hurt about it not driving right now, but when it comes back, it'll be great. So it's kind of like the rainy day V. Someday you'll get back out onto the track, or who knows, by a few years from now I may want to do a full restoration and make it like a clean running driving V1, like who knows really. But right now I don't want to do anything until I really am serious on what I want to do. So that's kind of the plan. I'd love to do like a chassis underneath it, make it like an actual race car. I think that's what it kind of deserves. All right, guys, that was the car tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely a fun one. I've wanted to make this video for a while, and I'm really, you know, happy to have all these cars in such a good state, running, driving, ready to do stuff. We'll tear apart Chip as soon as parts really start to come in, but definitely ready to use them a little bit more. I feel like I haven't, just because I'm so busy doing other stuff and always kind of working on the next thing. But definitely need to kind of slow down, use them a little more. Definitely this guy. But let me know if you guys have any questions, any comments about the cars, anything you guys want to see, anything I missed. Let me know. I'm always interested in hearing from you guys. But that'll do it, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep it saucy. I'll see you next time.